Hi, my name is Kim Dixon, and this is my final blog for my literacy and technology class. I took this at Mount St. Mary's College with Dr. Smirnova for the spring semester of 2014. I took this class as a replacement for another class that I couldn't take, and I really had no idea what I was getting into, but I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot. I've come so far technology-wise as a teacher in the classroom that I'm amazed at what I didn't know going in. I never considered myself technically savvy, but I could get by. I could do email, I could look things up on the internet, I could type documents, I could create things. There were a lot of things that I could do, and so I thought I was pretty good. I knew I wasn't an expert, but I thought I did all right. Having taken this class, I now realize there was so much more that I didn't even realize I didn't know, and I'm so glad that I took it. The workload was tough, I'm not going to lie, and it's not that it was hard, it was just that it was time consuming, because a lot of what we had to do in this class was self-teach different products and tools that we could use in the classroom setting and out and about. And so we would learn about the tool and what we could use it for, and then we had to choose one of the tools that Dr. Smirnova would give us an option to and give it a try. And so that was the time-consuming part, going through the resources, reading things, making summaries and forum posts. That took time, but not nearly as much time as trying out these tools and trying to figure out how they work and what the ins and outs were of everything. So at the beginning of the semester, we started talking about neo-millennial learners in 21st century learning, digital natives versus digital immigrants. So I consider myself a digital immigrant, although I guess at this point maybe I'm more of a digital native than I originally thought. Because being that I was not born into technology, I would have considered myself a digital immigrant at the beginning of this course, as opposed to my children, who I would call digital natives. They have had technology from the time they were born. They've used computers, they've used video games, computer games. My son blogs, they have Facebook, my daughter's blogged for school. It's just part of who they are. They're constantly connected to media via cell phones, via laptops, tablets, computers, at home, at school, at the workplace. So for them, this is all second nature, and it did always amaze me what they could do, having not learned it from me. As a mom, you're teaching your children how to do these things, but they knew, so they actually taught me a lot. The roles ended up reversing. The older they got, I would turn to them for help, and they would say to me, "All right, Mom, sit down. I'm going to show you how to do this now, and then I want you to try to do it yourself." And I had to laugh because that's what I would do with them when they were little. So this class was the same kind of thing. I had to sit down and do it myself and figure it out. And I think I did pretty good with that. I have to say, I'm really proud of the projects that I accomplished in this class. Learning what we could do in regards to education and literacy in this Web 2.0 world just blows my mind. I really can't believe what is out there. And I almost feel like my students who've had me before missed out on me not knowing about these things sooner. One of the first things I did at the beginning of this class was I made a Wordle. All about me, so I typed my name in and all kinds of characteristics and things about me, and that was great, and I see the value in that because there's so many areas that you could use that in education, from spelling to vocabulary words and definitions, using synonyms. You could use that for key topics in science or social studies. You could use it for math terms. There's really a lot you could do with it, and it's so simple. The next thing I made was a Glockster poster, and that was part of a group project with my group, the Digital Literacy Adapters, excuse me. And that was cool too, because they gave you all these templates to choose from, and the poster was about neo-millennials and 21st century learning. And we were able to download images, we were able to upload videos and attach it and add our own comments and definitions in there. So that was really cool. One of the next things I did was create a smartboard lesson, which I did at the preschool level because I teach preschool. So I created a letter picture match using letter sounds. And while I have used Smartboard before, I had never actually created a lesson on the Smartboard, and I was able to record my voice over it to give the directions, to give the letter sounds. A says ah, and name the animals that they had to match the beginning sound with. So that was a neat experience too, and something I can use right now because I do already have the Smartboard in my room. The next thing we did was a social networking presentation. That was a group project that we all contributed to, and that was something new to me. While I had done PowerPoint presentations before, I hadn't done it in a group where we all contributed our own slides and pieces. And then one of the members of my group, Jake, actually uploaded it to present me, which I had never used before. So it was pretty neat to see what he could do with that. I also created a newsletter. I tried a tool called Flash Issue, and I chose to do it on Animoto, which is a video recording site. And I hadn't used it before, but I loved the tagline. It was something like, create extraordinary videos for any aspect of your life. So I created this Flash Issue newsletter, and it looked pretty professional. After that, we did a group wiki, and I had never created a wiki before. As much as I've looked up wikis and looked up information, I had never been part of creating one. So that was the first time I had the experience of working with other people, and we created our group wiki on Vialog, which is another Web 2.0 tool, combining videos and dialogue together, which was pretty neat. We also created a voice thread on constructivism. That was another group project that we did. That was my first time using VoiceThread, and I was first introduced to that at the beginning of the semester when Philip used that to introduce himself, and I logged in and created an account so I could give him a nice comment on there. So, and that's a great tool too, being able to upload pictures, add text, add your voiceover, was pretty neat. And then let's see, I also did a Move Note on my personal learning networks. So that was cool. I had never done that before. That was the first time I had done a kind of video thing where I videotaped me and had some slides showing the different things that I have done throughout the semester. I also used, and I can't think of the name of it right now, but I created some animated videos. Or maybe that was GoAnimate, and we did some animated videos on mobile learning. And that was neat because I got to choose my character, I got to make her do different things, and she could talk and walk, and I got to display different tools of mobile learning and talk about that. So that was cool. And for my final WOW project, I did a Animoto, the one that I did the Flash Issue newsletter on. I did my first Animoto video. And so I uploaded all of these images, and I picked the music, and I added text, and I created this whole video about literacy and participatory learning in the Web 2.0 world. And I even was able to include a video of my daughter talking about whether or not she liked using technology in the classroom. So, and that was neat, and I was so proud of that. I've shown that video to more people just because I thought it was great, and I'm just so impressed that I'm able to do this and that I made it. I made it to the end of this class, and I've learned so much. I can't wait until I'm teaching in a higher grade so I can incorporate a lot more of these tools that I learned into my classroom. I think my students are going to be so excited to come in and learn every day. and I can't wait to try it. I look forward to the challenge. So I thank you, Dr. Smirnova, for all you taught me, for having faith in me and in my classmates that we could do this and see it through to the end. And thank you. I learned so much, and I can't wait to apply it.